he's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do. Like,
what takes up most of your time? What's a day in your life like?
You know, I'd never really given much thought to how I would die, but dying in the place of someone I love seemed like a pretty good way to go.
Jaden Smith is back in the headlines again, and not for the kind of reasons that help his image. This time, comedian DL Hughley has weighed in and argued that a lot of Jaden's behavior may trace back to the kind of environment he grew up in, especially the public drama surrounding Jada Pinkett Smith and her past controversies, including her relationship with August Alsina. In DL's view, Jaden has grown up around behavior that blurred boundaries and left people asking what kind of effect that had on him. That conversation picked up even more after Jaden's recent red carpet appearance at the Season 2 premiere of Could Have Been Love. At first, it looked like a standard press moment, but when a reporter asked about his new Christian Louboutin collection and mentioned designer Jaden Smith, who once worked with Kanye West, Jaden suddenly walked away without really answering. The clip quickly spread online, and a lot of people saw it as another example of him reacting strangely in a basic public moment. Did that seem unnecessary to you?
I see that you're working with Jaden Smith, who designed Yeezy footwear with Ye. What are y'all cooking up?
A lot of viewers were confused by that moment because the reporter did not even ask him about Kanye directly. The question was about the designer, not the controversy. And even if Jaden did not want to touch anything connected to Ye, he could have simply said no comment and kept moving. Instead, the whole exchange came off awkward and abrupt, which only gave people more to talk about. Then, not long after that, another clip started making the rounds. This time, Jaden was in Paris, reacting dramatically to hail, and online critics immediately jumped on it. Some people laughed it off as eccentric behavior, while others said it was another sign that something about the way he presents himself in public feels off. Fair or not, every new clip seems to feed the same conversation. Was that reaction a bit much?
Dog, it's hailing in Paris, bro. Ice is falling from the sky. It was cold. I knew it was cold, bro. Ice is bouncing off of me. Dog, do you see this? Rain doesn't, bro, it hurts a little bit. Bro, what's happening? What's going on? Bro, it's bouncing off, bro. You're not supposed to be able to catch rain in your hand. I'm catching little snowflakes in my hand, bro. You're not supposed to be able to catch rain, dog.
Then there is Jaden's fashion, which always becomes part of the discussion. One of the latest examples was him showing up with a mini dollhouse-style bag reportedly worth around $47,000. For some fans, it was just another high-fashion celebrity moment. For others, it felt like one more symbol of how detached and performative his image has become. Whether people admire it or mock it, the bigger point is that Jaden no longer gets viewed as simply quirky. Every outfit, every gesture, every public appearance gets read as part of a larger pattern, and that is why even his clothes now trigger debates about identity, privilege, and how much of this behavior is natural versus learned. Is this style helping him?
What's up, bro? I'm here at the LB show. I got this new amazing bag here. We got a freaking balcony on it. We got an owl on it. It's insane detailed. Everybody's getting insane work on this. Boom, boom. Going inside, you know the vibes. Like, we're locked in. Come on. Details everywhere. Owl, you know, little, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're locked in. That's what we're doing.
If you read through the comments under these videos, one theme comes up again and again. A lot of people believe Jaden turned out this way because his parents were more focused on image, fame, and personal drama than traditional parenting. DL Hughley basically made that same argument in public. He pointed directly to Jada's relationship with August Alsina and said the situation looked especially troubling because August was dealing with serious personal struggles at the time. DL's broader point was that when a young person grows up around messy boundaries, public scandals, and emotional confusion, it can leave a mark. He also argued that if the genders had been reversed, the backlash would have been much harsher and much more immediate. That is the part of this story many people say never got fully confronted. Would backlash be harsher reversed?
And according to DL, if the genders had been reversed, the backlash would have looked much different.
And my daughter had a friend who she brought home from college and she lived with us, right? And she needed a place to stay. And she lived with us, and I accepted her as now she's been there so long and we've known each other so long that she's literally like my daughter to me. Imagine me and my old lady, me and my wife break up, and I start messing around with her.
Yeah, because August Alsina was Jaden's friend.
Right.
Who he brought to the house.
So I think it was, and I'm not, look, I ain't in nobody's business, it's their thing, but when they were talking, well, he was sick and he was mentally sick and he was emotionally sick. Now, that's predatory. Let me tell you something, if you're sick, like he's physically ill,
yeah,
he's emotionally, and then the damage you do, like, this dude was talking about killing, right? So it isn't just you having an affair or whatever you do. It's that in your wake, because you felt bad, that dude was f***ing behind it.
Still is.
And you can't tell me that if that were Will, he'd never be saving the world again.
And that is why this debate never really went away. A lot of critics have said that if Will Smith had been linked to one of Willow's young female friends under similarly vulnerable circumstances, the public reaction would have looked completely different. Instead, most of the internet reduced the whole thing to the word entanglement and treated it like a meme, while bigger questions about power, age, and vulnerability got pushed into the background. What made it even more uncomfortable for many people was the fact that August and Jada were connected through Jaden. That detail has stayed with people. Then, when August later spoke more openly about his past in his 2020 docuseries, State of Emergency: The Rise of August Alsina, the story took on even more weight. He described going through trauma at a young age and said that when he wanted to keep that pain private, his mother shared it with other people anyway. For many viewers, that added context to why he may have been emotionally exposed and deeply vulnerable during that chapter of his life. Did the context change everything?
Thinking, so are you also gonna expose the fact that you have molested me when I was in your presence as a kid? Asking my moms to not say nothing, to hold that down and to, keep that secret. And not even a day later, random people tell me, oh, yeah, your mama said this. I don't really, to be honest, man, I don't have no family. I'm my family.
In that same interview, August opened up about struggling with severe depression and revealed he even thought of taking his own life because he had no one to turn to.
Gave the real, man. I talked about me thinking about suicide. That's real. Like I have thoughts about that. I remember being just super overly depressed, and not knowing how to deal with this, not knowing like not having a mother to talk to. My father is dead. I don't have nobody, to teach me. So like I said, I'm out here I'm doing all of this on my own. And man, I went through so many surgeries. My mama ain't even check on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm damn near dead, and losing my vision and you don't check on your kid.
And that is why this debate never really went away. A lot of critics have said that if Will Smith had been linked to one of Willow's young female friends under similarly vulnerable circumstances, the public reaction would have looked completely different. Instead, most of the internet reduced the whole thing to the word entanglement and treated it like a meme, while bigger questions about power, age, and vulnerability got pushed into the background. What made it even more uncomfortable for many people was the fact that August and Jada were connected through Jaden. That detail has stayed with people. Then, when August later spoke more openly about his past in his 2020 docuseries, State of Emergency: The Rise of August Alsina, the story took on even more weight. He described going through trauma at a young age and said that when he wanted to keep that pain private, his mother shared it with other people anyway. For many viewers, that added context to why he may have been emotionally exposed and deeply vulnerable during that chapter of his life. Did the context change everything?
I'm not gonna do it.
Just kiss me on the mouth all the time.
I just think it's an important thing for kids to feel loved. Do you feel loved when I try to kiss you on your mouth?
No, that's probably the last thing that comes across my.
Now Will has tried to frame some of that behavior as a healthy way of showing affection, but many people feel that explanation falls apart if the other person is visibly uncomfortable. Their argument is simple. If your son is signaling that he does not like something, the boundary should matter. That is why a lot of fans now connect Will and Jada's public behavior to the way Jaden carries himself today. People even bring up old clips, like the Coachella moment with Jaden and Justin Bieber, and say those interactions feel different once you start viewing them through the lens of trauma. Of course, that is interpretation, not proof, but it shows where the public conversation has gone. Then there is the Scientology angle, which has followed this family for years. Back in 2008, Will and Jada launched a private elementary school called New Village Leadership Academy and enrolled Jaden and Willow there. Will said the goal was to build a place where children could enjoy learning, but controversy grew fast when parents and observers said the school had ties to the Church of Scientology. Reports pointed to teachers who were Scientologists and to the use of study technology, a method linked to Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Will and Jada denied being Scientologists, but Leah Remini later claimed in her book Troublemaker and in interviews that Jada had long been involved and that she personally saw her at the Celebrity Center. Leah also referenced the school as part of that wider connection. So, when people ask what any of this has to do with Jaden and the industry, that is where some commentators take it further. Former celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC has alleged that some predatory tactics in entertainment circles overlap with methods he associates with celebrity Scientology culture. That claim is serious, controversial, and unproven, but it is part of why this subject keeps resurfacing. Does this history raise more questions?
What do you think about them accusing Diddy of having cameras in his house so he can record celebrities and politicians and use it as blackmail?
I firmly believe that's true because in that sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They would hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things. I think he one of them Scientology people, bro. Because that's probably where he got that from. A lot of powerful guys operate like that. So the things I'm seeing with him, it all makes sense.
And then you have Jaguar Wright, who pushed the conversation even further. She claimed there is a connection between Scientology and the kind of secret power structures people often say exist behind the scenes in Hollywood. As always with Jaguar, her comments were explosive, and many of them remain allegations rather than verified facts. But her name keeps coming up in conversations like this because she tends to say out loud the kind of things other people only hint at. Whether people believe her or not, she helped widen the narrative from one family's controversies to a much bigger argument about influence, control, and what really happens around celebrity institutions. Do these claims go too far?
Why didn't they ask Leah Remini? She's a little more credible. But then again, she might have been able to pull some of their cards because a lot of them motherfuckers is involved in that Scientology bullshit too. That's LA, corner where Biggie was killed. I was just there. Literally. And that building, it's this big, gaudy, Masonic looking thing. You know, it's all right, architecturally wise. But what gets really interesting about it is when the sun goes down, they turn the lights on, blood red, pure blood red. The whole building glows in pure blood red. I don't know, it just feels disturbing to me. You put this thing up that looks like some kind of Masonic monument, where Biggie Smalls was shot to death. And at night, you thought that the color should be blood red. I don't know.
You spoke about Scientology.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with anything with the Illuminati, or is that this separate entity?
They're separate entities, but they work in tandem.
Right.
They spy on each other's people for each other. Right. You know, if they don't want to make it look like they're stalking one of their, defectees, they'll ask somebody from TMZ to do it for them. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, allegedly. Harvey. They farm it out, make it seem like it's just paparazzi stuff when they're actually doing investigation. And Scientologists, they're relentless. A lot of people farm out their gaslighting work to them for a profit. That's LA. Like the Willow conversation, the Smith family conversation that we had.
In your face.
In your face.
Like, put out in your face.
I mean, there's multiple videos of this man forcibly trying to tongue kiss his son. On some Dalai Lama shit, suck my tongue, all right.
And Jaguar did not stop at broad industry talk. She also brought up Will and Jada directly and strongly insinuated that some of their public behavior around their children was not normal. People who agree with her often point to old clips of Will being overly physical with Jaden and say those moments crossed lines, even if defenders insist they were harmless or misunderstood. That is really where this entire conversation lands now. Some people think DL Hughley and Jaguar Wright are right to connect the Smiths' past behavior, especially the August Alsina situation and other public moments, to the way Jaden appears today. Others think Jaden is simply a privileged celebrity kid whose awkward behavior gets overanalyzed because of his last name. And then there is the middle view, that fame, family dysfunction, and growing up around blurred boundaries may all have played some role, even if the internet keeps reaching beyond what can actually be proven. That is the real question hanging over all of this. What do you think explains it?